Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome back.
It's Monday.
Oh, goodness gracious. We've got ourselves a bit of an interesting day.
Monday.
Nice. Way to go, Shelby.
Woohoo!
Premium quality joke. Love it. Shelby and I
that's
are
what I'm
nicely
here for.
caffeinated this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice chaotic stream. How about that, everyone? Also, thank you, Vector,
Yes,
for
thank
your
you.
4-month streak. Heyo, let's go. What's up, everybody? Who we got? We got Big Bobzilla, Ghost Hunter, Chuck,
Schmidt.
T. Schmidt, Papa Chicken. Excited for Nova. Big Bob, are you going to be there again this year?
Ghost Hunter, you tried to tag me in a picture on Discord. Tried, so you failed.
Woo!
Flapjack Nickelsack.
Loving the energy on a Monday afternoon. I just chugged an energy drink. Chugged an energy drink.
I love that username.
We be zooming.
So much has happened and it's only been 3 minutes.
What's up, Flapjack? Tech Elf, Paint Liquor. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful afternoon. Oh, it's been a busy Monday for us, and we are excited to be here with you guys
Yeah.
to celebrate the beginning of a new week.
Woohoo!
Much love from our side of the building.
Just this side.
Well, yeah.
The other side doesn't care.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, I got a piece of dust in my eyes. My eyeballs. No.
Why do you have dusty eyes?
I don't know.
Everybody knows you have to dust
Should
your
have
eyeballs.
known. I got dusty eyeballs.
That's common eye care.
Yeah, best common practices for eye care.
Dust your
Don't
eyeballs.
get stuff in your eyeballs.
Make sure you dust them.
All right. So, what's the play here, Shelby? So, option number one. We finish up this guy, and we work a little bit more on this guy.
Okay.
Okay, option number one.
That's door number 1.
Door number 2,
What's behind door number 2?
we start the Warcaster. Just for a little bit of, like, a change of pace.
Woo! I love pace
Okay.
changing.
Okay? And
What?
then,
Oh, there's door number 3?
door number 3,
Okay. Oh.
big guy.
Hot diggity dog.
Hot diggity dog.
You've given me tough options. I'm against door 1. I
Door
know I
number
don't
4.
want door 1.
Door 4, I go mow the lawn.
Oh man. I've never struggled so hard to choose between 2 doors.
You don't want door number 1 where we do these guys?
I don't want door number 1. I want to change a pace.
Okay.
Pace change. Pace change. It's like
We're-
a key change, but
We're going to
different.
circle back around to it at some point here very soon.
we
So
will circle back. Bye, Chuck. Enjoy mowing your lawn.
lawn it is. Catch y'all later. Bye, Chuck.
My choice is
What's up, Hoosiers?
door number 2.
Okay. That'll be a fun. we can take a look at all the funky things that this person's got on her, and we can go from there. So we're gonna start from the inside out as usual. Let me find.
Inside out.
Where is it? Here it is.
For a change of pace, switch seats with Baby J.
That would be so.
I
weird.
paint, Jordan produces.
That would be so weird.
It is Jason, Jordan, and Christopher going to Nova.
Mm-hmm. Correctamundo. Aha! Exactly what I needed. So first
She-Ra
thing
stream.
we're gonna do is we're gonna fill the gap in that base with some tape,
Fill your gaps.
which we are then gonna paint over here at some point. Not right this second, but at some point.
Hi, General Ginkgo. Happy Monday.
Also, hi, Christopher. I'm not in here.
I do really want to paint She-Ra. Shelby, are you going to paint Jordan's War Machine army?
Shelby's got her own War Machine army she's got to paint.
No, I don't.
Well, if I recall, somebody wanted a cool guy on a shark.
Somebody did want that. Has somebody acquired such a thing? No.
She will.
If I were to paint Jordan's War Machine army, I would do
Pink.
I would definitely do pink somewhere to appease the masses. Or you know what? You know what? Yeah, I probably would. I would maybe make the glow pink. I wouldn't go too overboard.
Like magenta glow? That's
yeah,
cool.
but maybe I would make them look fun somehow. Maybe I would put little stickers, like
Make
paint
them look fun.
Paint designs on them that are supposed to be like bumper stickers.
Alright.
You know what I mean?
No. No, I do not.
How is that unclear?
Also, where the heck is the freaking stinking potatoy
Panic
blue?
Bomb, I would not paint plaid simply because I don't think I'd be able to.
Ha, there it is.
So. Ooh, Papa Chicken, I love that.
What are we loving?
Cotton candy blue with ivory accents and magenta glow. Not bad at all.
You've got Shelby's attention.
Magenta glow, though, it'd have to be way brighter. I see the vision, though. It wouldn't be like a blinding pink glow. I like it. Big fan. Hi, Simon Muir. I think that's how you say it. Either way, hi, Simon. Retro green. Propeller hat head conversions for the whole army. Yes.
Propeller hat heads?
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about you people anymore.
I feel great.
Well, of course you feel great. You're making all the weird decisions.
Yes. I always feel great making weird decisions. In fact, those are the times I feel the best, is when I make a weird decision.
Well,
Do yourself a favor and make a weird decision. You'll feel great.
Weird decision Mondays. Make a day out of it. You know?
Weird decision Wednesday.
Ooh, I definitely prefer that.
Yeah, you know, a little... Just a sprinkling of some alliteration.
Alliteration. Alright. Well, time to get started on this here lady. She's so fancy. She got all sorts of weird stuff on her.
Do you know what colors you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in the same color palette as these guys.
Okay. I didn't know if you were doing something different.
No, I mean, she's going to have more of the black, like that's on him.
Okay.
Because she's actually wearing, like, cloth. She's got
Gotcha.
a thingamabob and stuff.
Oh, I see.
She's got a thingamabob and stuff.
A thingamabob and stuff. Thingamabob and stuff. How was everybody's weekend?
Mine was not busy enough.
Really?
I needed to have a much more busy weekend than I had.
Interesting.
I don't know if this has ever happened to anybody else, but I have a group of people that I regularly play video games with. And we'll kind of like rotate through games every so often. And so we've been playing a ton of Diablo 4. Not my favorite, but it's fun when I'm playing with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But I was like kind of getting into it and having a good time. And on Friday night, nobody was on.
Oh.
Literally just code zero silence.
So-
Nothing going on. Nobody responded to anything. Everybody was silent. And I was also super tired that night, so I kind of just like went to bed at 9 anyways. So, but anyways, on Saturday, I woke up, did a little bit of cleaning, and I was like, cool, I guess I'll just like go play some video games with everybody and stuff. Once everybody got on, just later on in the afternoon, I discovered that everybody was off of Diablo 4. Just like, they were done. Just not
Just didn't
interested
want to
in
play it
playing.
anymore?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just out of nowhere.
Okay.
And I was just like, what the heck? Like, what the heck?
Yeah, kind of rude.
Well, it's not so much just rude, it's that it was just very sudden. Like, I don't have a problem playing other games.
I call it rude.
It was just one of those like, oh wow, I was kind of like expecting to do this thing. And I was like, all right, well, I got to get my mind out of planning for that.
Yeah.
you know,
Little mind shift.
bumper sticker ideas for your army. Honk if you're Orgoth. My child is an honor student at Cricks High. If you're in range.
I loved those.
That's so good.
They made me laugh.
You're still on D4. Can't wait for the Spiritborn. You know, they're not there yet. It's one of those things where they've been working on getting themselves into a position where they're making the right decisions, and they're not there yet. They're on the way, but they're not there yet.
Papa Chicken, that's amazing. Oh, it's so adorable.
Copenhagen.
I say Copenhagen.
Is it Copenhagen? I don't know.
It's both.
Hagenhagen?
It's both.
Is it though?
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that it's both.
People who aren't from Europe probably mostly say Copenhagen.
But should I say it knowing that it's wrong?
I don't think
if I'm not from that country?
It's not wrong, it's just different.
Well, I see where you're coming from with that. To me, it still feels like weird to not say it correctly if you know how to say it correctly.
But I don't know if there is a correct. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Like, sometimes it's like, oh, this
could be like an accent
This made
thing.
me so mad. I can't explain why it made me so irate.
What?
So, in the Bachelorette, they go to Melbourne, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time, she's calling it Melbourne.
That's an accent thing for sure.
Yes. She's saying, oh yeah, the locals call it Melbourne. I'm like, yeah, because they don't say they're ours. That's not like, it's not like it's not like you're supposed to say it that way. You're not supposed to say it that way. You're supposed to say Melbourne. But she was saying Melbourne, but without speaking, like, oh, it made me so angry. And the whole Copenhagen thing doesn't bother me as much, but I feel the same way about it.
I feel the same way about it.
Like, I'm not gonna call it Copenhagen if the locals call it Copenhagen because of their accent.
Well, with this one, we're not actually sure. Right?
We're not sure.
Yeah.
But
There's amount of uncertainty.
yes. They can do that all they want, T. Schmidt. I would rather be like bullied by a bunch of Australian people than be bullied by my own kind.
Wait, they're not human?
Well, apparently the Australian people will make fun of you
What, for not calling it Melbourne?
if you say Melbourne, or if you say Melbourne instead of Melbourne. But that just doesn't phonetically make sense.
Melbourne?
It doesn't make sense to say.
I would say Melbourne.
I would say Melbourne. Like
I'd say Melbourne.
Melbourne?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I would never say it Melbourne. I'd say Melbourne.
It's OU though. That doesn't make an sound. If anything, we should be calling it Melbourne.
Melbourne? I like it. Melbourne. You get that, chat? We're calling it Melbourne for forever. There are no Melbournes here.
Yeah,
No
Papa
Melbournes.
Chicken. Exactly.
Oh, no. Melbuns.
Melbourne?
Melbuns.
No.
All right, so we're starting with a bit of caramel brown on all of the white armor plates here. I'm focusing on these mostly because they're kind of underneath most of the other parts of the armor. It's weird because some parts of that white are underneath, some are not. Sorry if I get bad angles on any of this. I'm trying to keep it as on screen as I can. Definitely going to need a little bit of touch-ups once we get around to doing some of these highlights. But, yeah. Just going to be doing this for a little bit. With any kind of model like this that's like super duper heavily detailed, you always want to start from the deepest parts of the model out. So start with like the little nooks and crannies that are like the undersuit and stuff like that. I'm just starting on the legs, so I'm starting with the part that's covered in armor. And then I'm going to do the under part of the cloak after. Sorry, Shelby, go
They
ahead.
do spell color like that. That is weird.
Color.
That's why the English
Color.
language sucks. Because we're so inconsistent.
It is bizarre.
We have like same spellings that mean different things. So, we're dropping frames.
Oh. Bath.
We back?
Bath.
I before E except after C. Simon, we always have time for a painting question. How would I go about making a white candy paint armor or a candy paint effect with ProAcryl? Is it even possible if I don't have an airbrush?
I mean, you can definitely do it without an airbrush. So think about it this way, right? So when you're talking about like candy, you're talking about super duper high reflective, like hard sugar candy, like reflectivity, right? That is basically just like painting non-metallic metal. But it's non-metallic metal that's like super duper reflective. So instead of doing your standard non-metallic metal where you're, there's a little bit of, how do I describe this? Do I have anything that's painted like this? One sec.
Is it Both game delay? Is that what you're trying to spell? If so, I think you sufficiently did.
Yeah. So here's at least like a kind of a good idea, right? So like this is pretty close to what I would consider to be like a candy coat type of reflective paint, right? It's not metallic metal, but it's got super, super high points of light where the light is reflecting off that specularity, right? And then it gets really dark really fast. And it goes to the color really fast. That's how you would paint something that's got that candy coating. And even in a lot of ways, you'll get a harsher line because the reflection cuts off so quickly. Definitely use some examples of like painted cars and things like that to get an idea of like how that reflectivity would look. But you can paint it just with like you would paint non-metallic metal.
I totally want to know what you're painting now.
Huh?
Candy? White candy?
As far as white is concerned,
What are you painting?
White's kind of weird to do that with because your color, how do I explain this? Your white would never be able to be as bright as the like super reflective part of it. Because that candy paint it's shiny for one, but it also has a really, really high gloss clear coat on top of it, which gets it to that super, super like glossy finish. Feel like barely even blend to do a candy coat with big white highlights. Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too, is like you can, like, I don't typically recommend putting gloss for candy coat finishes. But you're better off just creating it, with the non-metallic metal plan. But you can use gloss for that if you want to. Star Wars Stormtrooper armor. The thing is, Star Wars Stormtrooper armor is glossy, but it's not like super high gloss. It's also not candy. Like candy has a little bit of like pearlescence to it. Because if you're talking about candy coat,
It's a
typically
wee bit shimmery.
it has some amount of like pearlescence to it.
Hello, Chochacho.
And then it's got a clear coat on top of the pearlescent finish, right?
Sugar, it's so sparkly. Yeah, so a white car. Maybe.
Well, a white car is not like doesn't have a candy coat.
Really?
It's got a white finish on it, and then it's got a clear coat on top.
Shoot.
Like those candy coat paints are actually like, yeah, metallic colors with a high gloss finish. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. I'm learning a lot today.
Yeah, super, super high polish, glossy finish.
I feel like there are some white cars that are like a metallic white.
Yeah, they do. That's typically it's like pearls. Like they'll do like pearlescent finish on white. Most of the white like metallics that you typically see, that's just like a really bright silver, like a really really white silver almost.
Gotcha. They're lying to us.
But candy coat is definitely its own independent thing.
I definitely thought that we were talking about candy when we first started this conversation.
I used candy as an example because that's kind of what they reference it off of.
Right. I was pretty excited about the idea of someone painting a little like peppermint.
Hard candy has that kind of super reflectiveness to it.
Yeah. Yeah, would metallic medium give that look?
That's pretty close actually. But the problem with metallic medium is that it's super transparent. So if I were to try and do that, I would do.
You mix it with a little bit of white.
Yeah, you could mix it into white.
Transparent white, or would that still be too transparent?
Still transparent, right? Okay. So I would use a little bit of opaque white.
Yeah.
With a lot of that medium.
Yeah.
And that'll give you that nice bit of like pearlescent shine.
Yeah.
It's not quite pearlescent because pearlescence has like more it has very colorful reflections to it.
Yeah.
So it has those like those elements of like the greens and blues and magentas and purples and things like that that come through when you're looking at like pearlescent finish. It doesn't look white, it has a bunch of color to it.
Interesting. Papa Chicken said maybe if we keep asking questions like this, Baby J will show us how to paint a car in real life. Maybe.
You know what's really funny? I've always kind of wanted to do that.
Paint a car?
Yeah.
It'd be pretty awesome.
The problem is it's a lot of work. A lot of work.
It is a car, and there are lots of layers.
Well, it's not even just the layers. It's all the prep work.
Yeah.
Like the money that you're spending, like the ridiculous amount of money that you're spending to get your car repainted, is not in the actual paint time. It's in the prep work that needs to be done, and in between prep work, right? Because all that stuff needs to be like, yeah, prep is everything. Exactly. Like you have to you have to do all the body work. You have to make sure everything's straight. You got to sand it all down. You have to sand it again. You have to keep on sanding it some more. And you got to get it prepped, and then you can paint over it, and then, or you can prime over it. And then a lot of the time you have to sand down the primer. And then you do it. Yeah. And OK Guardian knows all about this then.
Oh yeah, candy apple painting on the blue Space Marine vehicle.
Yeah, I would approach it a little differently. I wouldn't go as bright and shiny with it. Like it works better with a satin finish than it does with a super gloss finish. It just doesn't read as well on models like that.
Tech Elf said you could paint a Hot Wheels car.
You know what I actually, speaking of Hot Wheels, funny enough, I got a ticket from somebody last week who was talking about, on an unrelated note to the ticket, just talking about, what's the name called? What's the game name? shoot, it's the game where you have, it's basically like Mad Max cars that you make. I forget the name of it. Somebody out here, Gaslands, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't remember that really quick. But yes, somebody was talking about like making Gaslands cars. And I saw like a photo of some of the stuff that he did, and I was like, these cars are awesome. And what people typically do for that, Shelby, if you don't know, is people will go and they'll buy Hot Wheels cars because it's at the right scale for the game. And they'll just convert Hot Wheels cars with like barbed wire and like guns on the top of them.
That's awesome.
And repaint them so that they're all beat up and gross.
Yeah.
And they look like basically Mad Max cars.
That's funny.
And there's this whole game where you like race them around and fight each other with. It's super cool.
Huh.
But I really want to try the game out because I've never actually played the game before. But everybody who I know who has played it has always been like, "This game is freaking awesome."
That makes me think of the game that was next to us at Gen Con. Now I don't remember what it was.
This year?
Yeah.
To the left of us?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I ever really looked at what they were doing.
Well, just because I was sitting at the register all
yeah.
day, I would just hear the guy like tell people.
Oh, the spiel.
Yeah, it's basically Mario Kart mixed with Mad Max.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, then it's basically a riff off of that game.
Gotcha.
Because Gaslands has been around for a super long time.
If Jordan was to paint a car, what car would it be?
Like a real car or like a fake car?
Great question. I don't know.
Chat must tell us.
Real car.
Real car?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have a 2022 Ford Fusion N line right now, and I think that would be pretty fun to repaint because I really like the way that car looks. It's like it's that perfect medium between this is sort of sporty, but not like ridiculous to own as a like
pretentious.
Yeah, it's like I basically paid a little bit more than like a sedan cost, and I have a car that's like a little sporty.
Yeah.
And is nice, and etc.
Yeah.
So.
I've always wanted to, like, ultimate dream job would be to work for Rolls-Royce and do custom embroidery interiors.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah. They do
like embroidered headrests and stuff like that.
Yeah, I follow their Instagram. They do a lot of like there's only one model made and it's like a super custom vehicle. But there was one where they did like they embroidered the leather on the dash.
Oh, that's cool.
And it had like roses and like leaves and butterflies. And then they also embroidered some of the seats and then like the ceiling. It was really cool.
You know, you probably could just buy like aftermarket well, I mean you could do it with seat covers, but you can probably just buy aftermarket seats and just tear all the upholstery off and do it and then put the upholstery back on.
Yeah. It'd be a challenge to put it back on. I also don't know if I would want to do that in my current car.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like my current car enough to put that much time and work into making the interior look pretty.
Also, NOK Guardian, one of the things that's always been like a dream project of mine. So bear in mind, I know very little about cars. Like I'm not a car guy. But I'm very interested in cars, and I'm very interested in learning more about them. And one of the things that I've always wanted to do, and bear in mind, I acknowledge that this is a crazy ambitious project and probably should not be done without at least a little bit of oversight from somebody. I really want to buy, as a dream car, a early 70s Corvette Stingray. But I want to buy one that's not that's like a fixer-upper. Like I want to buy one that's like beat up and do all the replacement and repair myself. Because as a non-car person, I would not feel like I deserved to own it if I had just like bought somebody's already repaired and cleaned up one. And also, especially as like a hobbyist, like I'm a big hobbyist and a nerd for that sort of thing. So like, I go into that and I'm like, I would feel terrible if I just paid somebody for this car that was already like built and repaired. It's like I wouldn't feel like I owned it.
Right.
Whereas like if I went through and I bought a beat up one and repaired it, cleaned it up, did all the paint myself, even if it wasn't like perfect, I would feel much better about owning it than anything else.
Yeah. I get that.
So it's a little weird. It's a weird one for sure, but it's I don't know. Those have been one of those things that I've been really interested in doing at some point.
That's true, Papa Chicken. Not very many people would want to buy a cotton candy blue and ivory car with magenta accents.
Shelby would.
Unfortunately. I would not want to drive that around. I'll be honest. I did see, I think Addie was showing me. Addie's one of our coworkers. She found this video where somebody got like a little installation to put in that little tiny window that's like at the very back of your car. It's like the little triangle shape, and it was like a little box that fit perfectly into it, and it like lights up and stuff, and when you look at it from the outside, it looks like a little like shopping window. It had like a little scene set up in it. It was super cute, so I kind of want to get one. I don't know where I would find one, but a girl can dream, you know?
A girl can dream, Shelby. Don't let your dreams be imaginary.
What?
Don't let your dreams be imaginary. Let them come to fruition.
Gotcha. Okay, now I'm understanding.
Yeah. You're like, but dreams are in fact
Dreams.
imaginary. They exist in my noggin and not in reality.
In my noggin.
Does it make more sense when I finish the statement?
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it.
Yeah. Just do
There
it,
you go.
Shelby.
I'm wearing Nike today.
Wearing Nike? What?
Just do it. It's Nike. You seriously?
You're wearing Nikes right now, Shelby?
Yes.
Dang.
I got my Air Force Shadows.
Well, those are clean.
With my Nike socks.
You know, I'm always impressed with people who wear white shoes in Arizona.
I wear these for very special occasions.
Today's a special occasion. Do tell.
Well, I just really like this outfit. I get into moods sometimes where I discover an outfit.
And you're like, I love it.
I put something
Yeah.
together and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. And then I wear it a bunch. And this is one of those outfits that I discovered this weekend. So, I'm wearing these Nikes. This is the second time I've worn them to work. I probably will not do it again.
What do you mean?
Well, it's always a risk for me wearing shoes like this.
Why?
Because I never know when I'm gonna have to do something that might scuff up my shoes.
Oh, that's fair.
So,
That's fair.
I try not to.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
Doing great. What?
Nothing.
Oh.
I have ninja underwear.
I'm sorry, what?
I have ninja underwear right now.
Oh. I thought you said you have Nin John's underwear. And I was like,
No, ninja
when-
underwear.
That would
when
be
did
weird.
John send over a pair of his tidy whities?
Not
for
what
you?
happened.
Ninja
Ninja underwear.
Jordan, which model are you painting right now?
I don't remember her name because I've been looking at other Warcasters. But this is the Warcaster that comes in the new Crix box that's on pre-order right now through Steamforge Games. And it comes with a disc guy. And it comes with this guy. And it comes with these guys.
Papa Chicken, I agree. An outfit can be a special occasion all by itself.
Shelby's talking about her special occasion shoes.
Yep.
This I don't remember what this guy's called.
we should probably remember what these things are called.
He's cool. Look at him.
Dragon sharp dude. I don't know.
He's so colorful.
He's a solo for the Shadow Flame shard.
It's so weird to me now that there are solos that look like warjacks and warbeasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a problem. It's just I'm so used to it not being that way that it's very odd to me. Like the fact that like this guy.
Oh, it's a problem.
Is it a problem?
It's a problem.
Like this guy and this guy are a solo.
Yeah.
Like what? I mean, it's cool.
Yes, Tech Elf, that is the risk. That is why I don't wear these shoes often to work.
If the Sharky, he does kind of look like a shark, doesn't he, now that you say that?
Oh,
Like
yeah, he's got that kind of flat head almost.
Like a robot lizard dragon shark.
Yes.
I'm into it.
That's what
That
he
covers
is.
the bases.
That's actually the name on the box. Robot Lizard Dragon Shark.
Robot lizard dragon.
They've just given up on cool names. It's just Robot Lizard Dragon Shark, number 1.
I mean, this
Because I
guy.
guarantee there's another one.
This guy's name is Disruptor. Not Severus.
Find it. Get there.
Something.
Fahuzamagad.
Who's my god?
That's it.
That one.
I did not say ninja underwear. I said ninja underwear because it's creeping up on me.
I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. What?
I did not need to know that.
You know what, Jason? Thank you for sharing.
Jason says he doesn't like anime and then paints this model. This is not anime at all. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that confuses me.
Yeah, it's really not an anime model.
Sorry, game delay.
Eh.
Wrong answer. I like his sword. That cool sword.
A sword.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I forgot where I left off. Forgot what I was doing.
Jordan and OK Guardian said I had to go back to the VOD to listen to what Jordan was saying. Corvette Stingray would be awesome. I get what you mean by feeling like an imposter if you haven't put some skin in the game. Project cars just have an appeal to them.
Well, I would learn. I would know about what makes the car tick and all that stuff, and you know, it's something that I am vaguely interested in right now, anyways. I've just never been in a position to have a space to do any of that.
Brutal Burrito, thank you for the resub. Called in sick to work so that I could watch today's stream.
Uh-oh.
That's probably not great, but we're glad you're here.
There's a Yu-Gi-Oh card of this guy. If it's named Shark Lizard Dude, it's anime? No. No. Incorrect.
The color palette on him is really appealing to me.
This guy?
Yeah.
With all the
I like him a lot.
purples, magentas, and then the greens and the yellows.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my old Scorn back in the day.
James Matthias, yes, they are. They're Mark IV War Machine models. We have been enraptured again. Jordan and I are both big War Machine fans.
Yeah.
So we've been painting some of the Mark IV models up. I did this
Purple
Signar Jack.
Yep. Been working on my cricks. This guy's pretty
Having some fun.
Oh,
Now I'm doing Shadow Flame Shard. Dragon, Shark, Snake guy.
Dragon Shark Snake guy.
I will kill you, Paint Liquor.
Yeah. Don't get that stuck in my head.
Dragon Shark Paint guy? Wait, what?
No.
Don't you dare.
Don't do it, Jordan. Don't read it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to say that out loud. No, sir.
It's best.
No. Paint
Death.
Liquor, nice try, though.
I
Death.
saw a War Machine mini of a guy riding a rabbit, and I'm this close to buying it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a solo.
It's a neat solo.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
don't know who
fun
it
model.
works
I was surprised, but yeah, it belongs to the War Machine world.
Do you know who it works for? Because I know it's a Grimkin character.
No idea. Is it Grimkin?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember reading something in the caption for it said something about Grimkin or something like that.
Did not know.
There is, in fact, a distinct lack of plaid. But that's no shock, is it?
That's no shock. Yeah, we're not big plaid people around here.
Oh.
It turns out nobody is. It turns out chat just likes to troll us. Who'd have known?
Who'd thunk it?
Who'd have thunk, chat?
Crazy.
Chat trolls? No way. Trolly trollers who troll.
Bully trollers who troll? Sounds about a lot like them.
Yeah. 100%.
Brutal Burrito said, can't remember if it's War Machine or Hordes, but I remember the Nightmare model looking really cool.
The Nightmare model? Oh,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. Grimkin.
Flapjack said, I can think of a couple islands where plaid is pretty big historically.
Not anymore, though. Historically,
I'm sure they still wear, like, Scotland, they definitely still wear plaid.
at Tartan.
Different sort of thing. I mean, it is.
That's what we're
technically
talking about.
I see.
When people say plaid, that's what they mean.
Gotcha. Jason, how was your weekend?
My weekend?
Yeah.
So I did something really fun this weekend.
Oh.
Tell us.
I got my entire space flight sim setup going again.
Oh.
And
That sounds cool.
it's been a long time since I have been able to do anything with it. Like, since we moved house last year, it's just been in boxes. And so I've had it on my mind to do it. I've been waiting on like a USB distribution hub and stuff like that. And all that came in last week. And so it had been sitting on the dining room table waiting for me to decide I was going to do that. So this weekend I set it all up. And then I flew spaceships.
I desperately want to see a picture of your setup because that sounds awesome.
It's pretty cool.
So what? I don't understand what this is.
So I have a love for spaceflight simulation games.
Uh-huh.
And, combat spaceflight simulation stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a big monitor layout that is kind of like surround monitor, right?
Oh.
I have 3 big 34-inch LCD monitors that all together are over 7 feet long.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And
Crazy.
so when you they're all curved
Okay, so
and they
like
all
connect.
share bezels, and so with my graphics card you can do what's called surround on the NVIDIA surround stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go in and program it to where it takes into account the physical bezel of the monitor and all that, and you basically have one huge freaking monitor.
Yeah.
And so I have one huge freaking monitor that I can play my spaceflight games on, and I have these things that are called I forget what they're called, gunslinger joysticks or something like that. I don't remember. But I have these really good joysticks. And I have a fly with 2 sticks. And so it's just fun.
Yeah.
I have like head tracking software and hardware, like IR tracker, I forget what it's called. Track IR Pro or something like that goes on my headset. So when you move your head, your whole screen looks like you're looking around. So it's sort of virtual reality, but not. You know, it's not you see it on the screen.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun. It's very immersive for me. It gives me it's just really fun, right? I know a lot of guys growing up that as like Microsoft Flight Simulator came out, a friend of my dad's had like a whole fake cockpit thing because he used to fly Cessnas and Comanches and things like that, and so he had a dashboard that was for like a small plane, and he had a stick and throttles and all that stuff set up to where he could fly. Back then the graphics weren't as great, but for him it was like flying.
Yeah.
And so I built that, but for space.
That's cool.
Believe it or not, My dad's super big into flight sim.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hosas, Simon, not Hotas. I do hand on stick and stick. Hands on sticks. Simon, yeah, I play Elite. That's what I played over the weekend was Elite. Elite's boring as hell to me after a while. They just haven't ever really nailed it. But for doing what I was doing, it's fun. You know, you just travel through the stars, fight some stuff, mine some rocks, haul some things, space truck it a little bit. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's a really cool getaway for me because I can sit there with the lights off, right, and this on the screen, and, you know, you're looking around, tilting your head, and the way it works in Elite especially, and in Star Citizen too, is as you turn your head and you look at different screens and stuff, they'll show you different information, and it really makes you feel like you're in a cockpit.
Yeah.
And I've got this stuff called Game Glass. I've got 2 8-inch touch panels on the desk that are just cheap Android, like $40 iPad ripoffs, but they're 8-inch screens. And you put those down, and they're 1024 by 728 or whatever, 768 or whatever it is. And you put those down, and you use Game Glass, and it recreates a lot of the functions of the game to where I never have to touch the keyboard.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm always hands on stick with a million buttons on my sticks for fighting and combat and landing gear and lights and all that stuff. And then everything else is like power distribution is on these touch screens, so you can just doot and operate everything and it feels. Like as silly as this all sounds, I mean, we're all nerds here, so it probably sounds great to everybody, but it is very immersive.
Yeah.
Right? I really need like a soundtrack of the inside of the Millennium Falcon making noises, right? Because the only thing I'm missing is that creaking hoses, you know, things going on in the background. I really need that because the game is kind of cool.
You know what's probably really funny? I bet you probably an unreasonable amount of money that exists on YouTube right now.
Probably, yeah. I probably just need to get a good YouTube soundtrack going in the background and mix it in with my Elite sounds. You love Elite, you like rescue missions and taxi stuff. Yeah, there's something for everybody in that game. It does have a lot going on. I just have not really ever gotten past the fact that I have to grind so much for engineering. The fact that you cannot buy the engineering components takes it and makes it a separate mini game inside the game that I hate. You know, like I should be able to go and space truck and haul stuff across the galaxy and make a billion credits and then go buy what I need to engineer my ship because that's how economies work.
Yep.
As opposed to I have to go farm a bunch of materials is the most stupid way possible to then go buy stuff. Well, you don't even ever buy it. You just trade material. For some reason, half of this galaxy works on the barter system and the other half wants your money. And it just makes absolutely zero sense. At all.
That's funny.
Yeah. So if they would just make the engineering components part of the normal economy, it would fix everything that's wrong with that game. I don't know why they don't. Do I still have my El Camino? No, I sold it. I sold it to another local gaming nerd years ago. Have you seen that rig the guy made for MechWarrior 5? It simulates the feel of the mech steps. Oh, that's cool with the base drivers under the seat or something. That's cool. Jason describes one version of heaven. As silly as this sounds. Man, and I honestly cannot believe after sitting there, and if Jen were in here, she'd probably laugh at me. But after sitting there and flying around, she's like, how's your space game? And I'm like,
how's your space game?
I'm like, all I'm doing is I'm on the market, right?
Yeah.
Checking prices on things while I sit in the station so that I can figure out where my next trip is going to be to go get this stuff or find this mission or do this stuff. It's like, I think Elite and these games in my life have been more time spent doing nothing, planning for what you're going to go do, than actually doing it. So it's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
James asks, is there any way to prevent a synthetic brush from bending on the tip? No. Well, yeah. So there are ways to prolong the point on your brush not deflecting. Right, you'll see this brush is in pretty good straight tip shape. This is a number 2 from our Pro Synthetic range. I only paint with our synthetics, first off. Like 100% of the paint that you see me do, whether it's, stuff for tabletop or whether it's, more detailed character models, for display, everything that I paint is 100% done with synthetics. Okay? I rarely, unless I'm showing the difference between synthetics and a sable, use sables. But with synthetics, they are plastics. So you're going to have to make sure that you do the right stuff. I have a video on our YouTube channel I would recommend to go watch. It's called Chasing the Tip, right? And when you have a brush that's synthetic, it has a nice point, but because the bristles are stiffer, what a lot of us do that we don't recognize is we paint with the brush in the same way, going the same direction all the time. A lot of people, believe it or not, hold the brush so you can see the lettering in some way. It's just a psychological thing, like a subconscious thing. A lot of people will, when they grab their brush, they'll have it like this in their hand. And so what your brush will do is it will start to have a memory of the direction you've been painting. And so when you pick it up, you'll see that and you'll immediately paint with it. It's just the brain locking in on that thing, right? So instead of doing that, retrain yourself. As you have a good point like that, as you put pressure on it, the point's going to start spreading, right? The point isn't going to stay ultra knife sharp all the time, especially if you have a heavier hand, meaning you press harder on the model like that. See how the point spreads, right? So now you're looking at it going, oh, I don't have a good point, right? Well, you do. You just have to rotate it 90 degrees. So that's called chasing the tip. Now you've got a great sharp edge to your brush again, and you can come in and do really nice fine strokes. And depending on how much weight you give to your brush stroke versus how many strokes you make, then that'll start to separate again too, depending on base coating and all that. And then it kind of blunts out, you rotate it again, and you get a nice sharp point. So keep doing that, and you will stop having the brush find a memory. So it creates two benefits. One, you always have a sharp tip when you need it on your brush without having to go back and clean it and twist it to a point or any of that. You just can continue painting and rotate it around, right? And you always have a sharp tip. The second thing it does is it keeps that brush from getting the memory of only being used in one direction, and so that'll prevent that tip curl for a long period of time. All of these brushes are very old for me, and none of them have a noticeable curl to them at all. Now, that being said, I have brushes that have pretty big curl to them, and it still doesn't make them paint any different, right? It may mean that, like that one's got a little hook at the end, you can see, whoop, right? I would paint with this thing all day long. Doesn't matter, right? So.
Gotta spin
this
it
brush
to
needs to
win
be
it.
cleaned, by the way. It's
I like that.
It looks like it's been in the bottom of a lake for a long time. It's just got crap built up in the ferrule. It still holds a pretty good point for being dirty. So
Don't show Jen because she'll steal it from you and clean it.
she will. That's kind of what she
that
does.
happened to me.
It's kind of what she does.
She did it to me on stream live. She's like, "Give me that thing."
Nick from Gray Primer. Yeah, it's just something you can do with Sable synthetics. Every brush you use, you should get used to doing the first part of that. Always chase the tip. Always, as you paint, rotate it around till you find the sharp side again and use it again. And then keep doing it like that. It will save the lifespan of your brush regardless of what type of brush it is, period. Right? It just is even more beneficial to synthetics. Papa Chicken. Do sable brushes ever curl at the tip? If they're not true sables, they can. A lot of people call sable brushes, will sell brushes that say they're sable, and they're actually a sable blend with synthetic. One of the things that's happening in the world of sable is that it's harder and harder to get good quality hair. The animals are being over-trapped, and so stress in the environment, I think. This is just what I hear back from that industry. That stress in the environment causes the hair quality to go down. I think if you're super stressed, your hair can do everything from fall out, split ends, all that. Same with animals. And so the quality of hair, also it's being diluted a bunch because China is buying up. It's in their backyard, the whole Siberian sable, the weasels, the Mustela siberica, all of that's in their backyard. They're over-trapping, and they're making cheap brushes out of it. And so they'll load it in. It's like, what else do you do? It's like cutting drugs. Like Breaking Bad, where they're cutting the drugs and putting other crap in it. They take the sable and they put other hair in there so they can still call it sable, but it's not.
They're lacing their
Right.
synthetic or their sable brushes with synthetic hair.
And so the synthetics can make them curl. Yeah, but natural hair too can also break at the tips, right? If the hair is bad, it can break at the tip, which means that now the length of the hairs is different at the tip, and they will cause them to not bunch correctly, and that can look like a curl. They won't curl like plastic. The hair of the natural hair from a sable or horsehair or whatever doesn't typically like just form a bend and stay that way, because that's not the way natural hair works. Natural hair will kink over as you paint, but will then straighten back out, and then eventually will break at the tip where the thinnest part is. Right? Especially for us as we paint along the edges of sharp models, metal, plastic, a sword that has not a knife edge, but it has a ridge, right? And you drag the side of the brush across it like this as you're going through and highlighting it. You're basically cutting the hairs all the time. right? So the longer you use it, the more it will crease. You'll find hairs that are like half length because you've cut half of it off by edging and doing detailing. Remember that brushes are disposable commodities. They are not intended to last forever. You just want to feel like you get the value out of them. And that's really what the best I can tell you. Buy the brushes that you feel like give you the most well-painted miniatures before you got to go buy another one. If you buy a brush and it paints one miniature, if that miniature was, Slayer Sword award-winning miniature that took you 8 months to paint, then that's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
If it painted one base coated highlight and washed troop for your army, maybe not, unless it was one of those that's 20 to a bundle for $5 at Walmart. Again, you have to determine what's valuable for you. I prefer our Pro Synthetics. I love them. I can paint anything. I'll go toe to toe with any painter out there for quality of paint, and I'll use them all day long.
Sounds like I need to raise some sables.
Eep Jeep says, my hair's not bad, it's just unhealthy. I mean, same thing? Question mark. Surveys of Kalinske life satisfaction show general increased stress levels. It's the economy. It's an election year.
You get
It's
some.
an election.
You give me some weasels.
It's tough for weasels to make ends meet these days. Damn weasels.
Dang. What a good split end.
Paint Liquor says, challenge accepted. They'll bury me with my size too. Well, I mean, you see me get, there's been brushes on here that I've used for a year. And we paint quite a bit. But then I have the same brush that'll last me 6 months, right? So there's not a guarantee that even the same style of bristle in the same size brush from the same manufacturer will do the same thing twice, right? Back before we made brushes, what caused me to seek out manufacturing brushes was that I was so sick of some of the best named sable brushes on the planet not working for me. I would get them, they'd either be bad right out of the box, with no way to get anything to happen with them because all the manufacturers are overseas. Or you would get one, it would last, and you'd fall in love with it, and then you'd go back and get another one. I have a Winsor Newton. I'm not going to remember what it's called. I don't remember their old names, but it was a sable blend, like a golden Taklon and sable blend from God knows how long ago, 20 plus years. Excuse me. It was a number 2. It's probably still around here someplace. And I literally used it for 20 years on and off. It would get shoved in a box when I was moving and I wouldn't see it for a while. And then when I'd find it, I'd be like, it's my favorite brush. And I'd paint with it again. But I had it for years and years and years and years and years. And it was only when I started like streaming every day back in 2016 and using it all the time that I really started beating the crap out of it. So that brush lasted me forever. But I went and bought what was the modern version of that brush, and it was garbage. And I bought like a half a dozen of them, and they were all garbage. Yep. They would not even last. So, again, right? Find brushes that you like, stick with them. We try as hard as humanly possible. Shelby knows. Shelby checks a humongous part of our brushes. They all have to go through QC on her end. And we pull out ones that the factory says, oh, those are great. And we're like, no, they're not. They like, don't
these
work.
Suck.
Nope.
Actually, this is terrible.
Yeah, actually, these suck. But you got to remember that the brush world doesn't make brushes for painting solid figurines. The brush world makes brushes for painting on canvas in a 80-20 type situation. What I mean by that is that 80% of the world that paints with paintbrushes paints on a flat surface and paints at a larger scale. Okay? So tip on a brush, not a factor. Nobody cares. Like literally nobody cares. When you're using a size 2, 3, 4 brush on a canvas, that brush, even when it's blunt to us, makes a fine line for them.
Yeah.
Like a super fine line. Nobody that paints canvas that isn't doing like these crazy Instagram artists that are painting every little eyelash as 14 strokes on a huge mural, nobody cares, right? And most of those painters, when you talk to them, have got brushes that have been sitting in turpentine for 18 years. They'll pull them out, lick them clean, and paint with them, and they don't care. Because they understand and have built their whole career off of just grabbing a brush and making it work. And that's what brush makers make their brushes for. So what they want is they want to make sure the shape is correct, right? And the size is correct. Mm-hmm. That's the two things they care about. And obviously that the ferrule and the handle are in good condition and are of good quality so that the ferrule doesn't become loose and you get a good mechanical brush, right? But it really is size and shape are the only thing that the manufacturers care about. And if they nail that, right, then they're fine. And they look at it and they go, fine, that brush is great. You know, I could sell that to any of my customers. And I'm like, well, not us. Yeah. Because we require the tip to be as precise as possible because look what we're painting. And they just don't get it. Because for hundreds of years, the other thinking has been what's been predominant in that industry. So you're not going to get somebody to change their mind. It takes us, and literally we throw out a tremendous amount of brushes. They wind up going into our seconds that we give to conventions to use as paint and take brushes. And sometimes we can't get credit from the factory for them at all because we do such a rigorous double-ended QC. Whenever we get the brushes, we recheck them one by one. Every single brush that gets sold out of the doors of this office gets checked again internal by our staff. And we remove a tremendous amount sometimes from that because they just don't work for us. And that's a bummer. The industry is not built for us. Yeah, we have to make it do what we need it to do.
Most every brush has at least like one thing that needs to be fixed on it.
That was bright.
It's haunted.
Did we all just like...
You were just like...
That was
the
bright.
heck?
Something at around 3 o'clock every day. Oh, and then it went back down, right?
Oh, that's... Shelby, did you do that?
Nope,
It did
going
just
back
go
up
back down.
now.
It hurt. Oh, it is...
It got brighter.
What the heck?
Something's going on in the vicinity with RF frequency.
Yeah, that's making
this happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it's going back down now.
Yeah, it's crazy. The sign is crazy.
It's haunted. Did I tell you about the time when I came in and it was flashing? Or no, it wasn't flashing. It was responding to my voice.
Oh, there's a deal, yeah.
Yeah, there's a setting for it. Now I know now, but I didn't know before, and I was just like, this thing is haunted.
Yeah. Imagining Rothko painting with a size 2. Yeah. Asabal, what's going on? The sables are great. All of our brushes are great. Again, we paint with them every day here, and I literally just go grab brushes. Usually I will go grab the brushes out of the seconds.
Yeah.
And I'll paint with them on stream forever. You know? You always get the weirdest looks when I'm at the art store inspecting brushes. Yeah. And because generally it's just size and shape. If I'm doing something small, a normal artist would go in and buy a number 2 and be like, this is gonna be great for my fine detail painting, and they don't even care.
Yeah.
For them it's just size, shape, and cost. If you want an artist round at a size 2, go get the cheapest one because I'm only gonna use it on this one painting. They don't even think about it in terms of like how long it's gonna last. Paint the painting, be done, throw it away. It's funny because in our world, we get so many people that are like, this brush has got to last me forever. And I understand the value quotient of that. You spend $20 on a sable brush, $30 on a sable brush. You want that thing to not have to go in the garbage quickly, right?
Pushman, thank you for the sub.
I'm still stuck on the what the heck am I supposed to do with the rest of this model part of this thing. I'm going to grab maybe some... I'm gonna do blue-black, actually.
The nice thing though is once you've done this one, I think it'll do a good job of kind of laying the foundation for the rest of them though.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
I started picking up a bunch more, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this stuff is on any of these guys. Do any of them have like skin and leather and no?
No.
One continuous bunch of detail. They're really bitching though.
They are really cool.
Yeah.
That's like the weird part about it is that they are really cool looking models, but they are just so odd.
Tech Elf says that Chris and Gabe have got a remote. They're just screwing with us.
I could believe it, to be honest with you.
Well, this sign keeps on. It gets to the brightest, and then it goes back to
it's
off,
like
and then
pulsating.
it goes back
It's crazy. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just insanity.
It's funny. Are there a bunch of metal bits that you need to paint on that?
Me?
No, Jason.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I'm starting with now.
Oh, okay. Game Delay said, Jason, those models are actually a blend of synthetic and natural hairs.
You're not wrong.
That's actually really funny.
Yeah, sounds like I need to start raising some weasels. And making...
Well, Mike at some point in time was going to send us a bunch, he said. Have we even seen Mike lately?
He's been in and out.
I haven't seen him today.
I haven't seen him in a couple of days.
Mike said he was going to start a weasel farm with us.
Great. I'll raise some weasels. Give him a daily hair care routine. Awkwardish, you will see Jason, Jordan, and Christopher at Nova.
Awkwardish, you're going to be at Nova?
Apparently.
That's awesome. It'll be good to see you. Will have been a few months since we last said hello in person.
Kane DeLay said, every time Jordan says, that's actually really funny, I think, really, Jordan? Is it that shocking?
Yes.
You know, actually, that's pretty funny.
Yes.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
What do you mean, thanks, guys? I'm sticking up for you.
I appreciate you, Jason.
I like it.
It blows me away when Game Delay's funny, too.
Eep Jeep, your name makes me really happy to say. Eep Jeep. It's funny. Tadpole, Nova Orange is a new shade. It's like a desaturated orange, like a creamsicle orange.
Yeah, it is kind of like creamsicle orange.
Eep Jeep Nate, thank you for the prime. 51 months.
That's a lot of months.
That is not a short period of time.
Eep Jeep, one of the old guard. That's like 4 years and some days and some weeks and...
It's 4.25 years, right?
Oh, some months.
General Ginkgo said, you talking about paint and takes reminded me my local con this weekend had one, and they had Reaper paints. Never used them before, and they weren't great. I had my little go bag with me, so I busted out some of my ProAcryls for me and a buddy to use, and ended up leaving a few of my extra bottles of Bold Titanium White for others to use. People loved their coverage.
Awesome.
This is very kind of you.
That is very cool.
Spreading the good word.
Spreading the good word.
One bottle at a time.
One bottle of Bold Titanium White
at a time. I appreciate that more than you could ever know. People that take our paints out and do group painting sessions at your local store, get people hyped not only about painting, but about our paints. Like, come on. That's just the double bonus. We want to see that hobby loving getting around to everybody. Even better when they're touching ProAcryl.
Papa Chicken asked, is it a new shade or a new hue? Not being a complete smartass, I get those types of terms mixed up.
Wait, what?
Is it a new shade or a new hue?
So, it's a new orange color.
Yeah.
So it is both, right? It is a desaturated orange. So in the way that we're talking here, it's a new color in the line. It's not a shade of an existing color. It's its own color. It is Nova's orange. They gave us their hex code, and then we reverse engineered that into our style of making paint.
D-Fresh said, ProAcryl paint. First one's free.
Pretty much, yeah.
I actually, a while ago, when I was on one of the dating apps, I almost went on a date with a guy who liked Warhammer. And,
I remember this.
And I was gonna bring him a bottle of Bold Titanium White because he hadn't heard of ProAcryl before or had never used it before, and he ended up canceling a couple of our dates and then ghosted me. So I was like, you don't deserve Bold Titanium White.
Schlebby, I don't even know what to say to you right now.
Yeah.
I feel like your whole life is a bunch of those opportunities, and if ProAcryl couldn't save you, that guy just wasn't good enough for you.
Correct.
No.
100%. Stop talking to idiots.
Hey, I didn't know he was an idiot until he canceled the second date, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, this ain't gonna fly.
Okay, whatever. It was fine.
Coulda.
I didn't really miss
potentially.
out on anything. So
He probably had a better refrigerator, though.
one would hope.
Jason, that was an A+ joke.
See? I got him every now and then.
That was a A++ joke.
I come with the heat.
At least
Yeah, we were gonna
was
go
he
to
more
sushi.
interesting than the 40K that he was interested in?
We were gonna get sushi, and I was gonna bring him a bottle of Bold Titanium White.
That guy's life is wrecked. Like, he's sitting around wondering, like, what does he even do? He thinks back in the middle of the night, wakes up in a cold sweat. She used ProAcryl. I could have had a lifetime supply of ProAcryl.
It's true.
Yeah.
That guy screwed up.
Yeah.
He done messed up.
Happens.
His mom did raise a fool.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
I will date you for free paint. Oh gosh.
Do we have everybody in chat wanting to date you now? Is that what's happening?
Because they all want free paint.
Oh, I didn't think about that, Shelby.
So good.
That's grounds to marry someone if they bring you paint on the first date.
Hey, I'm telling you, if this could be a life of leisure for you.
Never have to buy paint again. Oh gosh. And
Source-
it's ProAcryl? Come on now. This is just win.
Source
Nothing but
said
upside.
they'll date you for free paint. Jason.
What's that?
Source would date you for free paint.
I don't know how to take this.
Jason's
Was it
taken?
said like that? Like, hell, I'd even date Jason for free paint. Is that how that was laid out?
Yeah.
Because that's a backhanded compliment if ever there was one. I have feelings too.
So funny.
I'm worth more than just the paint I have. Not much, but a little.
Jason,
Don't.
I was about to say something very nice. Thank you very much.
Just don't.
Wow. All right. Fine. You don't get neighbors.
Don't try to make me feel better. I want to wallow in it right now.
Right, Jason.
To be
Chat.
fair, he didn't know that I was gonna bring him a bottle of Bold Titanium White.
Oh, we should have led with that.
I was just gonna
Doesn't matter. Wasn't
show
worth
up
it.
and put it on the table at the end of our date. Be like, here's the best paint in the world.
At the end of the date, you lead with this.
No.
Man, you need some coaching.
No, that's like the you'll never forget me moment. You know?
Jeez.
That's why you gotta leave it at the end of the date.
Like in a, oh, you thought that was good?
Yeah,
Pow!
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll go for that.
Thank you.
Can't tell. Are we supposed to be worried for her or no?
Who, me?
Or no, her.
I don't worry about Shelby. Have you seen her? She can kick somebody's ass.
That's not the part I'm worried about.
Oh.
What are you worried about?
Why wait until the end of the date for the bold titanium white?
Well, because it's
I mean, I'm trying to sell paint, so I'd have led with that.
It's the kicker.
I wasn't looking for a relationship.
You know, it's the kicker.
I'm like that chick who works for the insurance company. I'm out on the date talking about ProAcryl from the start.
See, Flapjack gets it. You don't want to start the date with. You don't want to start the show with a showstopper. Exactly.
Fair.
And true, they gotta deserve the Bold Titanium White. What if at the end of the day I'm like, this guy's just kind of.
It's kind of.
Maybe he doesn't deserve it.
First off, sucks to be him.
Paint is for closers.
The paint is for closers. Oh my gosh.
See, I am all for at the end of the date. Just pull it out of my purse, set it on the table in front of him.
Amazing.
Source, we didn't actually go on this date.
He stood her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't you been listening?
We had a date set up, and then he canceled, and then we rescheduled, and then he canceled and ghosted
He also
me.
like gave the worst example ever.
Yeah, he gave the worst excuses.
Excuse.
I was like, all right, whatever.
He's like, I'm sick.
yeah.
I don't want to get you sick.
It's like, all right, you're sick. And then he didn't like try to reschedule that one. It's like, okay.
Liars.
Oh,
Just tell me you don't
a
want to go
lot of
out on a
them.
date.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was definitely one of those like, you know exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. Jade said, so another fridge guy?
Although I have to admit, it's not always the best course to be honest like that. I mean, look at me and Jen. Jen kept saying, I don't really think you're my type. I'm not trying to see you again, and I'd just show up on her doorstep.
Huh.
Shelby, best response ever.
Eventually, it's like the stray cat or dog that just keeps trying to come up to your door, and you get sick of just
my
leaving out random
Lord.
food tidbits all the time. Eventually, like, all right, come on in.
Jason, that's called stalking.
What's that?
That's called stalking.
No, I think it's technically the legal term is loitering, but
I'm pretty sure that that's under the purview of stalking.
nah,
Nah. Just, no.
I looked it
I
up.
don't think so. Persistent space. Oh, no.
I sought legal counsel before I did anything just to make sure I was above
My
board.
Lord.
Nick from Great Primer said, it's like waiting until the end of a date to spring it on someone that you're in a cult, except our cult is high pigment nerd juice.
High pigment nerd juice. That's...
Think about every time I go to a business meeting. Okay, so what is it you do? Well, sit back and relax a bit. I'm going to take you on a ride. We just got out of a meeting. I was late to the stream today because we're dealing with real estate guys. And the real estate guys walk in. He goes, so about these models. He's sitting in our conference room. He's like, so about this.
Don't worry, Jade. There's not
Is
a
that
guy
when
that
you-
keeps
you
showing up.
brought
on the
him
door.
brought him through and we're like, look at all the funny things that we do.
Yeah, look at this. This is nerd room number 1. And here's some nerds. Here's nerd room number 2. We do more nerding here. Here's some more nerds. Here's nerd room number 3.
God, you had the most hilarious timing when you were showing him our quote unquote break room. Because I had literally just dropped a whole box of
Yeah.
coupon things on the ground. I was like, oh, dang it.
Oh, it didn't matter.
No, I know. I was just like, oh, this is...
He's
Great
the guy that we're hoping can help hold our hand to sell our business or sell the building, not the business.
Oof,
So that we can
scary.
move.
Eep Jeep Nate asked what you're doing, Jason. For the,
What I'm doing?
with the paint, yeah.
I'm glazing blue-black over the top of the wings to get the base for the metal. This is all going to be like steel. Right? It's giving it kind of a cool, like almost burnt or heated steel look with all those colors underneath. I have no idea what my plan is with this model. I'm just grabbing random colors and saying, this would be maybe neat to do this, and then going with it. So this is blue-black over the top of royal purple, dark magenta, and warm yellow is what I pre-highlighted all this whole model with. And now I'm just picking colors I want the different parts of the model to be and glazing over the top of those underpainted colors. The underpainted colors, regardless of standard color theory, are going to add coolness and warmth based on the temperature of the color I put over the top of them, right? So if I put a warm color over the top, that will continue to make it more warm. If I put a cool color over the top, like I'm doing right now, they'll cool it down, but leave some interesting tones going through it, like the dark magenta and the yellow right now underneath this, blue-black. Just make for a really cool kind of weird oscillation of color in there, right? and I'm glazing it super, super thin. Same thing on the sword.
Nick from Grey Primer said someone should do a video on how and when to bring up the hobby at a dinner party.
Do you ever want to visit with these people again?
Good point.
I have some questions. Because if you don't care, the beginning is the best choice.
Yes.
If you are trying to impress the people and want to be invited back and stuff, then I would wait for them to really get interested in what it is you do. You just be with me. You just lead with, I paint little men.
Yeah, there you go.
Most of the people that meet me, that's what they think my business is. I paint little men. 50% of them don't have a clue what that means because they leave screaming. And the other people are wanting to introduce you to all of their friends. Oh my God, you got to hear what Jason does. Tell him. Tell him the story he told me.
So I have an interesting question. So with all the people that you talk to on a regular basis with all these, meetings and that sort of thing, how many of them actually are familiar with any of the things that we do here?
Quite a few of them. Quite a few of them will have children who who know the hobby or know Warhammer or know D&D or something. On a rare occasion, they've got relatives or friends or oh, I used to do that. The real estate guy that was just here, he grew up, of course, building models, and while he doesn't recognize the IP of Warhammer, he could totally get it. So, when dealing with people, you can usually find something. I can have it resonate with just about anybody because I can draw an analogy to something they know from their childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I lead people down that path initially when I'm trying to, kind of get the point across of what it is we do. I like that. That looks cool. And I'm just using water. I didn't use glazed wash medium again. I'm just kind of, developing color as I go. So I don't know that I really care.
Oh, that's a good way. Source said thumb palette is the answer you were looking for. Yeah, you should just have paint on your thumb. You're like, what's that?
Did you hurt yourself?
What's that?
Did who hurt themselves?
The thumb palette thing.
Like
Thumb palette, best palette.
If you have paint on your thumb palette, people will be like, what is that?
Yeah, what's that? Well, I go to business meetings all the time, and like after a day of painting on stream, and people will be like, so what's up with your hand? Like, I paint.
What?
Now in my business owners group, right? They all know. So now they're like, oh, I see, we caught you after stream today. Because I've got paint all the way up to my elbow on my thumb palette. And I'm like, yes, sir. It was a work day.
Flapjack asked, do you specify what the little men are made of?
No, that's the whole point.
It's better if you don't.
Just lead with I paint little men and let their brains go crazy.
It's the hook.
That's the hook, and you know that the people that stick around are the fun ones to talk to.
Yes.
Because they may not have understood at all what you were talking about. That's going to be a great conversation. They may have just been interested to hear more. That's going to be a great conversation. Or they may have gotten it from the get-go, at which point in time, they are your people.
Yeah, yep.
All right, he's coming along. Starting to feel like something.
I've been starting to paint the face on this lady.
She has a face? Oh, she does. Wow.
Yep.
She's almost human.
Yep.
Wad said, we had a tell us about yourself meeting a while back, and I mentioned I paint tiny orcs, and a random guy from Bridgestone that I never would have guessed was knowledgeable of anything besides, like, cars and sports, said, oh, you mean like Warhammer? You just never know.
That's the thing, right? We talk about it all the time. Our hobby never ceases to amaze me with the types of people that I will tell our story to who will be like, oh, yeah, definitely. I'm like, what? What do you know about it? Oh, yeah.
I totally don't look like I would know anything about it.
I would agree with that.
And I don't know much, but I know more than
I think you know a lot.
Than you
by
wanted
now.
to.
the average person.
Like, Jen definitely doesn't know, like, anything about that. And you look at her and you're like, what? And people ask her, and now she has a blast telling people what we do and leading them down that rabbit hole of, oh, yeah, here, let me give you some hashtags to look up.
Yeah, I always had that fun experience back when I was like studio painting full time, because that's when you're just like, this is the real weird one. You're not like, oh yeah, we run a business doing this. We manufacture paint supplies. It's like, no, I just literally get paid to paint toy soldiers for a living.
Yep.
Like, not even joking. That is what I do on a day-to-day basis. And then they take photos of them and they put them on boxes.
Yep.
Hellfire, that's a good
Living the dream. Honestly, it's a tough gig. It in a lot of ways it can hurt your love for the hobby if you don't do it the right way. Because you paint so much
one.
for other people when you're doing that.
Bud said that Kevin knew about Warhammer when he told him that you painted little men.
Oh, that's actually cool.
Kevin Bacon. He knew.
I still can't believe that happened. That's amazing.
BFFs, baby. I can imagine Kevin Bacon knowing full well what it is. He seems like a pretty cool guy.
Oh my gosh. So, I don't know how many of you have watched the Daredevil TV show on Netflix before.
I've not.
Okay, so
I watched a little bit of it.
So the actress that plays
Deb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She's doing D&D with John Bernthal on his show and all that.
yeah, so there's this great clip of her kind of explaining what D&D is to him, because he has no idea. He's just got no clue. And the way that she described it was awesome. Because it was like a way to get somebody that really engaged, that like takes it away from a lot of the kind of the weird parts of it, and it's just like, especially as an actor, right? He's just like gets it. It's like, oh, I'm just acting, but for fun, and doing this thing. It's great. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend watching the clip. It's pretty funny.
Well, and Bernthal's the kind of guy that I feel like would get it because he was not like a lifelong actor. Like, I don't think that was his big goal, was it?
I don't remember his origin story of acting. I think you're right though.
That show he does is actually really cool.
His podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I love him because he's so interested to hear all the various different perspectives of everything. Like, he's really interested in like genuinely hearing all the bits and bobs. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they've been doing that because of the Punisher.
Mm-hmm. Which he was great in. I really loved him in that. He's also randomly in Ford vs Ferrari, which is
Yeah, he's not Iacocca. Is he Lee Iacocca? He may be, I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he's Lee Iacocca.
That is a fantastic movie, by the way.
Fantastic.
If anybody likes cars, even, or doesn't, not even if you didn't.
It doesn't even matter if
like
you
cars.
like cars.
If you like a good story, it's exceptional.
Yeah.
It's like Matt Damon and Christian Bale at some of their best, in my opinion.
He was good in Fury too. Yeah, that whole squad was good in Fury. I thought that everybody in that was great. There was not a bad person in that tank. I thought the kid was the least interesting, which is probably the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brad Pitt was spectacular.
Oh yeah, so good.
Bernthal was great. Shia LaBeouf was great. What's his nuts? The driver was great.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's been in all sorts of stuff.
He's Ant-Man.
Yeah, he's
Funny boy.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd?
No,
No.
his sidekick in the van.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember.
Hispanic guy.
Oh, I can't remember him.
Yeah, he's tremendous in that. That whole movie is great.
I think it's really cool because he does such a good job of like, you look at his character in like Ant-Man, and then you look at his character in Fury. Those are two completely different people.
Oh yeah,
which is great. It's Michael Pena.
Is that his name?
Yeah, that sounds correct.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's the comic relief in Ant-Man. Although I don't know that you really have to have comic relief when the whole thing's a comedy.
Yeah.
But he feels like that comic sidekick guy. The way he talks, it just carries some of those scenes in there, and I don't really like that kind of stuff, but he nails it.
Yeah.
And then in
really
Fury,
fast.
yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah.
He's a totally different gig in Fury. Still has some humor, but he's just a guy trying to survive in a tank.
Yep. In the middle of World War II.
Turns out that ain't easy.
Yeah. If anybody has not seen that movie and likes historical
Fury?
stuff, yeah,
If you haven't seen that movie,
you should.
are you even alive? Shelby?
Shelby?
Ooh,
Have you not seen
I guess I'm not alive.
Have you not seen Fury?
I have not.
Oh,
Where are you on enjoyment level for like historical stuff, Shelby? Movies.
did you like Saving Private Ryan?
Oh, let's.
I don't think she's seen it.
Oh my God, stop having this conversation. Have you legit not seen Saving Private Ryan?
I'm scared to answer that question.
I would
Shelby,
be too.
It's okay if you haven't seen it.
Apparently
you should
it's not.
probably
Don't
see
listen to that man.
it.
It is definitely not okay.
No, I have not.
Go watch it.
Go watch it.
Doesn't matter what you like. It's a spectacular flick.
Yeah, I don't. What would you consider a historical?
Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, something I may have seen.
I don't know. I can't think of more historical movies on the top of my head. Fury. Anything that's like World War One, World War Two. It's like a war movie. Like historical.
I was going to say, I don't know that I would really say that historical is what I would have led there. I would have said, do you like, war, like bordering nonfiction fiction, right?
Right. Would you say Gladiator is like that?
I think Gladiator fits the same kind of a thing. It's more fantastical.
Yeah.
It's set into a historic period
Yeah.
with some figures that are supposed to be known, but its story is all half-baked.
Yeah.
I won't say half-baked. That's not true. It's
just,
good.
yeah.
Same with Kingdom of Heaven from him, right?
Okay.
From Ridley Scott, you had Kingdom of Heaven. Same thing, historical context, but very lavish fantasy inside that context.
Gotcha. Not real events.
Same with like Saving Private Ryan, historical context, but told and visually in a way that is jarring because of the reality of the situation. Not necessarily because of an overabundance of ultra violence or anything. Although Saving Private Ryan Saving Private Ryan puts the reality of war in your face.
Gotcha.
From a standpoint of oof.
It's
but
opening
it goes
scene
to
is
put
legendary.
weight to the situation these boys really are in.
Okay.
Fury is very similar in that regard. They are what I've always called brotherhood movies. They're movies that make men cry because we watch it and we see the poignancy of the relationship between men who don't know each other thrown into a situation where you have to rely upon one another. So I feel like it has a really big pronounced kind of emotional response for maybe more so for men than for women in that same situation, but they're just tremendous movies no matter what.
Yeah.
So Dunkirk, 1917. Is 1917 the one that was shot supposedly all in one?
Yeah.
Or at least made to look like it was shot all in one?
It was shot in.
It had
almost
some
entirely
other
one take.
things in it. There were some other things that were outside of the one take they admitted, but
Yes,
it made to
very
look like
few.
it was.
Yeah, very few.
It was amazing. I
have
thought
not
that
seen it.
1917 fell on its face towards the end. It was a lot better for the first half of the movie than it was towards the end of the movie.
Was it?
It didn't make me as involved in its ending, I don't think,
Got it.
as something like Saving Private Ryan. All Quiet on the Front, All Quiet on the Western Front.
I'm trying to
Which
think
one? The most
any-
recent? I don't think the most recent TV series was really.
Oh man, Band of Brothers.
Yeah, Band of
That
Brothers is the
such a
same
good
kind of
show.
thing.
Holy crap.
We Were Soldiers, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched very many of these types of movies, I'm realizing.
Yeah, because there's kind of like two types that you generally see. You'll see the ones that are like more war in your face sort of things, like
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan is that. Fury is
Gettysburg.
like that, right?
Gettysburg.
You get a lot of the ones that are historical in nature. They take place during World War II, and they are about the war, but they're not on the front lines. It's all about like the political stuff that's going on. Those are kind of the two types of those films that you get.
I did watch, I remember having to watch War Horse.
Hellfire. I thought that was good, but it was not a. I don't think it was a very faithful rendition of All Is Quiet on the Western Front. I would have to go back and read, but to me, it felt like it took a lot of liberties with it. But the series, I didn't finish it, but it opened up pretty well. It's not something Jen would watch, so I don't get a lot of TV time unless Jen's watching something similar or likes what we're watching. We're going back and rewatching Breaking Bad right now. She's not big into this stuff. So like Band of Brothers is a tough one for me because I love watching that. That's kind of like you were saying Lord of the Rings. I like watching Band of Brothers every couple of years too.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because I don't think it's not really what she likes to get involved and watch end to end because it's a series, it's an HBO series, and I don't remember how many episodes it has, but it's a lot.
8. I think it's 8.
It's a lot.
Yeah. That's a show that you watch an episode and then you take a little bit of a break and then you watch the next one.
Generation Kill was about the Middle East.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh my god, that show. Oh, I totally forgot about that show until you mentioned it.
Oh, Hellfire, yeah, definitely. No, it was a German. It no offense taken. I mean, that's what All's Quiet on the Western Front was about. Max Minus, The Heavy Water War is 2 amazing watches for World War II in Norway. Amazing to see what people would do to defend their country and people. Oh, nice. Max Manus and the Heavy Water War. I need to check them out. I would assume they're in Norwegian, subtitled. I love all those.
Was, Unbroken, was it, is that what it was?
You're familiar Unbroken, Jason? I'm not familiar with it.
Unbroken?
Yeah, I don't know if
Oh,
I,
Oh,
kinda
yeah, about the Japanese prisoner of war.
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Is it, I haven't seen it, but is that
I
like
believe it was called
similar?
Unbroken, but that's a fantastic movie.
Okay.
Again, very drama.
Yeah.
It's thrown into the period of war, whatever war it is, but it's showing you the human aspects of how people struggle in these situations.
Yeah.
There's a lot of POW ones. Even Schindler's List fits this, even though it was a little bit more fantastical in the way it was told, but it was very poignant for the same reasons because it dealt with the plight of the Jews in Nazi Germany as the work camps or labor camps were being opened up, and the humanity in that realm that didn't include the larger war. It was very reduced into this community and how it reacted and responded. And so All's Quiet on the Western Front, very similar. There was a recent one that was about friends as World War II broke out. They were like friends and girlfriends, like a couple of girls and 3 guys, I want to say. And it starts with them much like All's Quiet on the Western Front. It starts with them in like a bar singing how they're going to come back and meet, and these 2 are going to get married when the war is over, and they're already talking about what happens at the end, and they're looking forward, and this is just a thing we're going to go do, and then it's war.
Yeah.
And it's not told as big, huge CGI battles. It's all the little things. It's like how they have to sleep in the mud, how they miss their friends, how this photo, and they watch these new friends they die, and they come back and they can't live up to those things because the stuff they've seen in the real world makes it like this didn't even exist anymore. And that stuff is very conscientious. I don't know. It very profound for me in most cases.
Yeah.
So
That movie you just described reminds me a lot of Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor?
Yeah. The one...
Please don't tell me the one with what's his nuts at Batman.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was a horrible movie.
Christian Bale?
No, Christian Bale.
It had the story in it was similar.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it
similar
had to get
premise.
told in American big cinema, and that was not great.
Correct.
Midway, on the other hand, if you watch the Battle of Midway, the old 1970s Midway movie.
I have seen Midway.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good one.
Bomb
The 12th Man,
Girls.
too, which is about a group of 12 where 11 get killed by the Germans and the 12th is running away. True story and insane. Oh, wow.
Wow.
There's all sorts of them, right? You can get, like, especially for World War II, if you go into what I call foreign language films, obviously not American films. Finnish. There's a really tremendous one about how the Finns and the allying and not allying with the Nazis and the people standing up against them. There's one about the Russian snipers with the females, or maybe that was there's one of the countries in that kind of Eastern Bloc area of the world where a lot of the snipers that they could pull together in the later war were female. And it's pretty tremendous, a story they tell about them, how they'd perch up in the trees and pick off officers and stuff. It was pretty crazy. And all of that is all based on true stuff with a little bit of fanciful nationalism thrown in on top of it, I'm sure. But was that Russia? Yeah. You start your week and meals with ProAcryl hairdo. Yep, shots. I mean, don't eat paint.
Good job, Jason. I approve. Jen would approve.
Game Delay says Pearl Harbor had Kate Beckinsale. I think she was the only one in the movie. It was a solo movie. She just played all the roles.
That was Kate Beckinsale? No way. Really? I forget how many movies she's been in.
I mean, it was no Top Gun, but...
No, Top Gun's great.
Yeah, it's a big genre for me. I love it. Not for the war as much, because you can just go watch Starship Troopers if you want to see people get blown up and fanciful whatever, right? But the struggles during that. The stuff like in Saving Private Ryan where they're all sitting around joking about dog tags, right? And like betting like they were going to play cards with the dog tags as currency when all the paratroopers were walking by, knowing that all those dog tags they found were the paratroopers that didn't make it to the ground. And here's these foot soldiers who had come through on Normandy on the beaches, fought their own version of hell, but they've got all these dog tags that they're sitting playing around with until the lieutenant comes up and grabs them because he realizes what's going on, that these paratroopers are walking by understanding that they're counting their lost brothers' dog tags as some sort of currency. And it's very poignant in that case because it's the human reflection of what would have been there. Masters of the Air was the one I was talking about that Jen and I started watching. It's recent. It's still going.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The first season may be done, obviously, because it's released on like HBO.
Yeah.
But it's very similar to like Band of Brothers and something like that. It's about the air group that bombs into Germany from the UK. It has the guy Austin Butler. He's most recently in The Bike Riders.
Oh, yeah.
Is that his name, Austin Butler?
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember.
But I think I know who you're talking about.
Austin Butler. It's the guy, he's like in everything right now. He's like the current Timothy Chalamet. He's like in every single movie. He was Elvis in the Elvis movie, I think.
Oh, yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. I don't like him either.
I don't like him either.
Interesting.
Shelby just don't like...
Then, of course, there's the guilty pleasure World War II movies like The White Tiger, the Russian one about the tale of the White Tiger. It was they thought it was a possessed beast. It's all these tankers, these Russian tankers and T-38s that all are like this entire tank group supposedly got wiped out by one Tiger tank. One Panzer VI Tiger that came out that was painted white in German because it was in winter camo. Yeah. And it came through and decimated all of them. And it's about this one tank crew that jumps in a T-38 to go kill the White Tiger. It's pretty amazing.
That's funny.
It's pretty amazing. Jet, what's happening? Holy cow.
Him and Glenn Powell, yes. Glenn Powell, Austin Butler, Timothy Chalamet.
Austin Butler, okay, yeah.
All bad.
Glenn Powell, yeah. Oh, it's on Apple TV? Okay,
Don't
gotcha.
like them.
You're pretty sure Timothy Chalamet is the current Timothy Chalamet? I mean, how can you tell? It changes so quickly.
Hi, Fooker.
That is very true.
What's going on, Fooker?
He is not titanium white worthy. It's funny.
You're still waiting for a movie about World War I Canadians? Go make it. That's the thing in war, right? Is there's probably great tales for every nation that fought. You just have to find somebody willing to go tell your tale in a visual sense and somebody that will also think it will sell tickets. Unfortunately, those have to converge.
Yeah.
Right? Kelly's Heroes. Yeah, oddball. Yeah, we go into all those, like Where Eagles Dare and A Bridge Too Far and all of these kind of, like, they're basically like the spaghetti Western turned into World War II movies.
Yep.
And some of them are horrible, but like Where Eagles Dare I thought was good. I think Clint Eastwood's in Where Eagles Dare.
It is interesting. Like, I don't feel like there are many movies coming out nowadays that are about war and like kind of shove it in your face the way that a lot of those movies do. Like, they shove it in your face in a very good way, in a very like, this is what
It's interesting
it was
because you get things like the current one that was what we were just talking about. I never can remember. Huh?
Masters of the Air.
Masters of the Air, which is about I forget what the bomb group is or what the air group is, and they fly the flying fortresses over the canal and raid into Germany, and they're all teenagers, and the training is you can see the training's good, but nobody's prepared for what they go through when the flak starts hitting, and it's crazy, and it puts you in a position where you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And you see it, the actors do a phenomenal job in that of coming back, and they start being different when they hit the ground. Like, they're like, nobody could have prepared me for this.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And so that's very good. But I don't know. It's very interesting because with all of the Iraq and Middle East wars and things like that, we've seen some movies like somebody mentioned Jarhead. There was the one that was I think it got an Academy Award that was for the bomb removal guy. It had Hawkeye in it. He was a bomb disposal
Renner?
guy in Iraq. Huh?
Renner?
Yeah, Jeremy Renner. Does anybody remember what that was called?
I don't.
I don't know.
Where Eagles Dare was Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Richard Burton.
Even just thinking about like
Broadsword Calling Daddy Boy. It's such a good movie, Jet. Hurt Locker. I think it got an Academy Award, right? It's a spectacular movie, but again, it's like when it's so close, I think that maybe we've seen the idea of war movies change because of the fact that we have a current generation living from this weird kind of almost Vietnamish issue that we've had in the Middle East. And not to get too political, but there's a lot of unspoken feelings about what's been going on in the Middle East. And so I think it's changed a little bit about that. I think we've seen some things like, Inglourious Bastards that was put together to be more fantastical. It's Die Hard in Germany.
Yeah.
So
that's a pretty accurate
I think you can get away with a little bit more of that. So there's been some over the top nonsense. There's been that one that's like the dude who kills a million Germans. It was Sifu. Did somebody just mention this? He was called Sifu. There's a video game about it. There's a movie about it. It's so over the top. He's like Swedish or something like that. He's like, kills the whole German army by himself. But
oh, Shelby, this is kind of like the movie that you watched with
well,
your mom.
I was gonna say
It's
like
a little bit less of a comedic version, but that's sort of generally.
well, that's what I was meaning. Like, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is something that happened during World War II, or was it World War One? I can't remember which one it was.
It probably would have been two.
But it was a secret mission that, like, the information just, like, it got declassified in 2016. But the film version of it is, like, coated in this layer of comedy. So you don't really get the same depth of how terrifying it must have been.
Yeah.
You just get, like, the funny, they're making funny jokes, and this is a good, lighthearted movie. But they were, like, risking their lives against multiple countries to help stunt this war.
Okay.
Had to do with like
Scandinavian John Wick. That's what it's. That's Sisu. Yeah, I said Sifu, but yeah, I remember it being something like that. The Finnish Spirit. Okay, gotcha. I haven't seen the movie. I've seen a lot of outtakes from it and stuff. It looks way over the top. Like this old dude who just looks like he's pissed off and done. And watch out, Germany. That kind of thing. I mean, even Pan's Labyrinth was a very poignant World War II statement because it talked about the fascist Spanish regime, right? Because we forget that Spain was under fascist control longer than any nation on the planet because well after World War II, they were still ruled by fascists. And they were on the side of Germany, and they dressed in the jack boots and the whole nine. And Pan's Labyrinth takes a big chunk of that as this occupying force, and that one little kid's way of handling the pain and trauma mom and family were going through on the farm and all that, and became this big fantastical getaway, which I think is phenomenal. What a great way to tell the horrors of war, by the imagination taking over and putting you into a safe space, or which wasn't even really safe,
Yeah.
but was your way of fighting against it. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I guess my point is that I don't feel like they make war movies like they used to, and I think they should.
I think that goes in cycles.
Yeah.
A lot of that is demand and supply too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, when can you make them? Because, you know, I would have said that, but then they did Saving Private Ryan, and that was phenomenal. And then on the back of that, they used the same production components that they had bought to budget for Saving Private Ryan. They made Band of Brothers out of all of that, because it was made by the same production crew, utilizing all the tools they'd spent all the money for Saving Private Ryan. They made Band of Brothers, and Band of Brothers was a fantastic extension of that without being a sequel. The Pacific was not as good, the Band of Brothers, but they did it in the Pacific, was not as good. But like Sands of Iwo Jima, that was John Wayne, but they've done a lot of stuff that was still pretty good. Okay, am I getting the video game mixed up with the movie? Gotcha. Godzilla -1. All the Godzilla movies are post-nuclear Japan.
Yep.
Statements. 100%. They're 100% the horrors of war told by the survivors in a way that, to mention, somebody before said that the winners write history, right? And the Godzilla movies are the losers of that particular conflict, talking about the life that they have to live after that conflict, right? Which is pretty crazy. Pacific was the Pearl Harbor cruise series. It feels like it, right? It just didn't feel the same. Pacific I tried to watch, and it was just too Hollywood. It didn't feel like Band of Brothers. I don't know why. One of them's in the European theater where it's all rainy and gross, and the other one, it feels like a Vietnam flick without all of the nuances of Vietnam, right? The Pacific was just kind of Marines on islands, you know?
What was the movie that was? It was during like the Nazi reign and stuff.
So I'm not doing anything, so we can put Jordan up there.
It was during like everything with the Nazis, and there was like a secret group that were a part of the soldiers, but they were against the Nazis, and they would wear like safety pins or like paper clips or something
I don't know.
to signify that they were like part of that group.
I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called.
Hollywood is best in the world at taking movies way over the top so they lose soul. Somebody someplace thinks that at any given time, one particular formula makes the most money, and so everybody bakes with that formula. Right? Hellfire knows what you're talking about. Valkyrie?
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't
Valkyrie was Tom Cruise, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valkyrie was Tom Cruise, and that was the try to kill Hitler and the top command at the bunker where they went and had their big meeting towards the end of the war, where they were supposed to blow him up. There were insiders and all that stuff, I think.
Valkyrie doesn't sound right for some reason.
And it had a secret group of Germans overthrown it. Yeah, there was a coup inside the Reich that knew they had to get rid of Hitler and the top brass, and they had a plan to bomb where they all got together to kill him. Yeah, tried it like 3 times. Exactly. I think historically they tried it 3 times.
What the heck?
Dang.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The original Japanese Godzilla is longer than the U.S. release. Cut a lot of the imagery of Godzilla's attack in Japan being similar to how America came for them through the Pacific Theater. Oh, they were worried that it might not be received well here. Yeah, I like the ones. I mean, I wish it was not a great movie, but it was about the group that was put together to go find all of the artwork that the Nazis stole.
Oh, interesting.
During World War II.
You remember what that was called?
I don't. Maybe somebody in chat will. the gold Monument Men, I think is what it was called, right? Monument Men. It wasn't a great movie, but the idea of it was really cool.
Which they still haven't found. Oh gosh. The gold train, said source.
Yeah, Monuments Men. We should know that. It's on the wall.
Yeah.
It's on the wall.
Monument.
You watch a documentary years ago about how Hitler survived the one bombing attempt because the explosive were placed on the wrong side of a table leg, causing the table to flip and shield him. That's crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Well, these bombs actually went off, and they just happened to not kill Hitler 3 times.
Man, you know, it's one of those weird conspiracy thoughts, and I hate to call it a conspiracy thought because it's not a conspiracy by definition. It's a interesting possibility of historic events that Hitler never died.
Yeah.
And that he was part of the group that went to Chile, and that South America, because of its huge German influence, we know a lot of people ran away to Chile. There was a plan for it. They knew that they had a place to go there. But when you start talking about the fact that the DNA evidence of the body that the Russians took that was supposedly Hitler was female, and that they don't
They didn't
have
really find Hitler's
nobody
body.
ever had Hitler's, but I love that stuff, not from an aspect of could he still be alive, because obviously not, he's dead by now, but
Yeah.
like that stuff leads to, again, you know, interesting fantastical book and
Yeah.
movie ideas and
Yeah.
things like that. Everything up to, what was the one that was called Iron Skies, the one where the Nazis were on the moon.
Yeah.
I think they ride dinosaurs in that one. It's
They
so
do.
stupid.
They
It's so
definitely
stupid.
do.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, source. Yeah, I've traveled to Argentina and Chile quite a few, and it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, there's just a very large German
Blonde hair,
population.
blue eye communities that speak Germanic language.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
and
really
it does,
crazy.
It does make you wonder, like, huh, like they totally could have hid Hitler there.
I think they're in Chile, Hellfire. I don't know that they're in Argentina. Are they in Argentina too?
I think it is Argentina.
I know in Chile there's a big one.
It's possible. I mean, they could have spread out easily, but I'm pretty sure Argentina is one of them.
The Hunter series is too Hollywood. It's too Hollywood. But I get it. Argentina. Chile, Argentina, and a bit of Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like, you go down there and it's like, wow,
This is kind of just Germany.
you don't look South American to me.
Yeah.
I'm an ignorant American, so I don't know what South American looks like anyway. But, you know, we're used to darker skinned, you know, Hispanic, you know, the Spanish came in and conquered. And so we
Correct.
have, you know, the children of the sun kind of a thing going
Yep.
on in Central and our version of South America, Mexico,
yeah,
Central
100%.
America,
Yeah.
Brazil, place like that. But you forget that there is a huge contingent of, you know, I mean, the Spanish were white. You know,
Yes.
and but you get down there and it's like a totally different crew because it's like blonde hair, blue eyes. It's like,
You're not supposed to be here.
this is kind of weird. Beautiful people. Blonde hair, blue eyed. Hitler would stick out, yeah, because he was dark haired. I think he had brown eyes. Vulcan, you're from Brazil. What's the discussion? Oh, we were just talking about the Germanic influences in South America. We had the fanciful discussion of, you know, all of the Germans that fled at the end of World War II into South America and like German communities and things like that. I mean, in Texas, there's huge German communities. In the central area of Texas and New Braunfels and all of this is all Germanic with German beer. You know, Oktoberfest is huge down there and all the Grunhall and all these areas that are still German and really seated in their German roots, which actually during World War II, a large part of that population was pushing the government to side on the side of Germany. There was a call to action to either stay out or to side on the side of Germany because of the amount of German influence that was in America at the time.
Huh.
It was interesting to go back and look at that, and that's historical record on that stuff. That was why it took the Americans so long to enter that war. It really took Britain. That was that whole movie about Churchill,
Darkest Hour.
The Darkest Hour, having to pull all the chains and tell all the lies to get America pissed off.
Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite movies.
There's a lot of like
World War
those.
II.
There's a lot of like those. Like how much of that stuff was false flag? How much of that stuff was planned to awaken the giant to get America into the war on the side they needed him on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is also pretty historically correct. That makes you go,
Yeah. Jordan, it is 4:01.
It is 401. Look at that.
Brazil has the biggest Japanese population outside Japan. That's crazy. Also because of the war.
Paint the other side of this Batman here, and then we can
German is strong on the south part of Brazil. Yeah.
call it a day. Finishing up with this light bronze here.
Is Anya Taylor-Joy from Argentina? That's crazy.
I don't know.
I know she. I think so.
Yeah, Gary Oldman did Churchill, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's a crazy chain of making him look totally different, right?
Oh, he looks.
That's on par with like what's his nuts doing
Completely
the penguin in the Batman.
Oh,
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah did you
Colin
know
Farrell is the penguin in Batman,
God.
and you look at it a million times and never know.
Yeah.
Never know. They did such a great job, and he's got a whole TV series now coming out about the penguin that is him in it too.
Christian Bale also did one where he was like super transformed.
Well, that was
I don't
the
remember
engineer. That was just him losing 1 million
No,
pounds.
different one.
Huh?
Different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, different one. I know which one you're talking about.
Or the machinist. I think it was called the machinist.
It was called The Machinist, yeah. Yeah, he lost like way too much weight.
Well, also, I didn't realize Christian Bale was in.
Oh, did Christian Bale do Dick Cheney?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Huh.
Yeah, he did Dick Cheney.
I wouldn't watch anything about Dick Cheney.
Wasn't it Christian Bale in the beginning of Thor: Love and Thunder? Like the old, super skinny dude with tattoos all over him.
He played in whatever
No.
the last one was with Gore the God Slayer. That was
Yeah.
him.
Which is Love and Thunder.
I didn't realize that was him.
I didn't watch that movie. So-
Yeah.
But yeah, that
he
was
plays
Christian
the
Bale.
bad guy in that movie.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Because he looked so different.
It took Gary Oldman 4 hours to get into the Churchill prosthetics. That was Batman, and we all knew it was Christian Bale. Well,
Best Bale. What's the best Bale movie? Machinist?
Source
Cubic?
Cubic.
Source does say Cubic. I don't know Cubic.
Hmm.
I think the best Christian Bale movie is American Psycho. Because it has the most memorable moments of any Christian Bale movie ever.
By Awkwardish.
Equilibrium, worst movie ever,
Oh, man.
dude.
I've seen that movie before.
It's like Sean Bean and Christian Bale, and it's horrible. It's like Wish.com version of The Matrix.
It's really
It's
bad.
so
It's
bad.
really bad.
It's so bad.
Ugh.
But it's one of those where you got to watch it. But
Yeah.
American Psycho is by far, if you want the most like memorable Christian Bale moments, it's American Psycho because of the way that whole book, that whole world it's crazy.
It's the best.
Yeah, that movie is insane. I think my favorite Christian Bale movie is The Prestige.
Oh, I like The Prestige.
I have not seen that.
It's
It's not
good.
bad.
I like it a lot.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Is that Magicians?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it came out I think 2 studios released 2 movies about
Yes.
magicians at the same damn time to
yes,
try
they
to
did.
steal each other's thunder.
Yep.
One is The Prestige and one is, I don't remember what the other one is.
It's the one with
One has Hugh Jackman. Is that The Prestige?
Yeah.
Okay.
but there is another movie that came out at that same time, and I don't remember.
Gun Kata. Are we going to talk about John Woo flicks next? Because I will talk about some John Woo flicks. If you want low budget gunfight crazy movies, John Woo. John Woo
The
flicks.
Illusionist.
Before they killed him and brought him to America and tried to make him do stupid things like, did he do the Hulk? I don't remember what he tried to do. But The Illusionist was the other one. Yeah.
Who was in that?
Thanks for joining us, bud.
Bud, take it
Bye,
easy, man.
bud.
Share our talent. I didn't share any talent today, but I did talk about a bunch of stupid movies.
That's a talent.
These are some of my best. Empire of the Sun's a good one.
Uh-huh.
The Illusionist. That's so funny that it was The Prestige and The Illusionist.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mission Impossible 2.
Who is the lead in The Illusionist?
I want that to be my theme music. I'm just going to walk around. All through the office. I just am going to wear a speaker pack.
Do it. Just boombox on your shoulder.
Everyone's going to quit. But for a couple days, it'll be really fun. Face Off is amazing, and I'll be taking no questions at this
Shelby's Tinder adventures.
yeah, my online dating adventures.
Yeah, the online dating adventures of Schlebby.
With guys who don't want awesome paint.
Gun Kata. Now you remember what the film Equilibrium was? Come on, man. It was horrible. Horrible, but you can't take your eyes off it when you're watching it.
Yep.
It's so bad. It's so bad, especially like the late scenes. It's like the choreography in it is really rough. Everything's rough. It's like the movie you and your friends would have made in like high school, you know,
Oh yeah.
with like your dad's,
Like
the
your
home
dad's like
movies.
80 million pound VCR
I've seen it.
camcorder that nobody could really get the buttons right on.
I do.
Well,
I've seen it.
We used to have a little camcorder. It wasn't probably
camcorder?
as big as that, but yeah,
A
we
little.
A
No, we're
little
talking
one.
about
We
like
had
they
a
literally
little
had to
one.
hold on your. It had a shoulder pad for your shoulder.
I mean, I know
it
what
was
you're
if you've ever
talking
seen the
about.
Space Marine rocket launchers. It was literally that. And you hit the button and it went chunk and had the VCR tape in it just like at your home. And you could take it and plug it into your TV and it could double as a VCR.
That's kind of awesome.
You're talking about the
This thing called
Equilibrium.
Equilibrium that has Christian Bale, and it's Sean Bean and Christian Bale. It's horrible. I tell you, it was Wish.com Matrix.
Are you?
Oh,
We're quitting. We're wrapping
yeah,
up.
we're wrapping up.
We're wrapping up.
Oh yeah, you got a thing.
I do?
No, you
Do-
don't have a thing.
I don't have a thing tonight.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking.
Don't
about tomorrow.
scare me. What the heck? I'm like, I better not have a thing.
Ended 7 minutes ago.
Oh, let's get her out of here.
I just have to go home.
All right, we're out of here, everyone. Much love. Thank you all for hanging out with us today and talking about all this nonsense, which is not nonsense. It's a lot of nerd fun stuff.
It's only nonsense if you don't believe.
We
so
all believe.
true.
We're all believers here.
I believe that Hitler is in Chile.
Currently.
Shelby's going to throw up a whole bunch of links in the chat for us. Make sure you guys click on all the links. We got the Monument Hobby store link out there. You can pick up all the fantastic paints we've been using here on stream, as well as all of the other cool nerd stuff that we make. The FLGS link you can also click on will tell you where to find local stores where you can also buy our stuff. Check out the YouTube link where you can watch all of our long form and short form video content and catch up on all the streams that you've missed. And also, make sure you guys check out the Discord because it's awesome. We do monthly challenges, we hang out, we talk nerd stuff, etc. It's awesome. Check it out. Make sure you guys drop us a follow. We stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Okay.
We're gonna find somebody to raid.
Adios,
We're
gang.
gonna get out of here.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.